What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. And I'm not sure who needs to hear this, but I feel like maybe I need to hear this. I don't know. Just kind of going off topic. But yesterday I did comp squats. It was a squat and bench, and man, I don't like the idea of doing both lifts on the same day. And I went really late at night, so I was waiting really long just to squat, and then I had a bench, and I was supersetting. My bench was way off, and I feel like that had something to do with it. And I wasn't planning on going to the gym, so my day was kind of thrown off. But then I took a nap because I haven't been able to sleep lately, which I'm gonna get to in a little bit. I ended up going, and I drank a pre-workout, and I guess I was fine. But then I waited a really long time, so I guess it kind of wore out after that. And like I said, my first warm up on squat is always like off. It's 165, which is a red, and with the squat bar it's 55 pounds. One red on each side equals 165, and it just always feels like my left hip is tight on that. I just feels weird getting used to, because I warm up with the PVC pipe, and I do, like, you know, monster walks with the Mark Bell hip circle 2.0, I think, or the big ass hip circle. That's the one I have, the blue one. And I do leg swings. I warm up. I do the, you know, the hip rotations, the 90-90s. I feel good. Like, it's nothing wrong with my dynamic warm up. But whenever I warm up with the 165, I always feel off. So today, you know, I was fine on warm ups, so they felt weird, like always. On squats, they don't feel hard, they just feel weird. And then right when I got up to like 300, I would say, on 300 pounds on squat, I started feeling like my left lumbar just felt weird. It was like, it felt like tingly. Like, it didn't hurt, it just felt very uncomfortable. And it had something to do with my depth. My depth was like, it was kind of off because of that. And I went home after the squat session. You know, I posted that. It's literally on my Instagram right now. The top single is 402. And I was scared of 402, not because it's heavy or it's hard. That's easy weight. For me, it's easy. But 385 felt so heavy. And it wasn't really because of my back, but I feel like I placed my belt wrong, too high. It might have something to do with it. I went home and I had like a red line across my lower back on the left side. But I feel fine now. It's the next morning. So what I'm saying is, I know someone else who's gonna do a meet in 2 months. Someone at the gym, she's planning on doing a meet in October and then December, and it's her first and second meet. And just anyone doing second meets like that, I've known someone else at my first meet. He did another meet within 2 months, but he had been competing, and it was states, I'm pretty sure, the second one. He told me that like not one of his lifts went up within that 2 month prep. I think it was 9 weeks, and he said he shouldn't have done it. He only did it because family couldn't go to the first one, and he was just doing that mainly because of family, and he didn't really want to do it, but he did it. It's kind of like me. I'm going to Dallas for family, and I'm just competing just cause. But you know, with all this being said, like, I'm realizing that a 10-week prep is kind of hard because that's what I'm doing. And I know it sounds self-explanatory, it sounds stupid, but like common sense. But it's honestly, like, the reason I haven't been able to sleep is because, like, this prep, I've just been like so. I think because, you know, ever since this last meet didn't go as I wanted it to go on August 15th, I just feel like, you know, I really want to redeem myself in October, and I'm just excited to go to the gym and anxious every single day. So because of that, I can't sleep. And I know it sounds crazy. What I'm getting at is, I feel like if you cannot sleep over something, like The Weeknd has mentioned in the song Might Not Make It. It's not his song, it's Belly's song featuring him. But he says, everybody around me saying I should relax because I've been going hard since my eyes rolled backward. Till my eyes roll backward. So what he's saying is, everyone's saying he should relax because he works so hard till his eyes are backwards, like he's just not sleeping. That's all he's doing is working hard, and he looks like a zombie. But it's the same exact thing. That's his thing of music. He can't sleep. He just can't sleep till he does it. The Weeknd is very successful whether you like him or not. He's one of my favorite singers. He's tied with Frank Ocean, but you could hate him, think he's the worst, he's a Michael Jackson imposter. I don't. I seriously don't think he sounds like Michael Jackson, and I'm glad. Because if I thought that, I wouldn't be a fan of his. Because I'm like, oh, he sounds like Michael Jackson, watered down version. But I just don't hear it. So to me, he sounds like The Weeknd. So he works so hard that he just can't sleep. You know, he looks like a zombie, he looks dead all the time. And that's why he's so crazy. Like, on all his albums, he's always someone else. I think he's the craziest he's ever looked. You know, his new afro mustache. You know, he looks like he's from the 80s. It sounds like he's from the 80s. Especially with Blinding Lights. And I really like this new music, After Hours. Someone else who's also in music, Beyonce, one of the best female singers of all time. But just singers, that's so sexist. One of the best singers of all time. But I said female because, you know, the whole diva thing. Like, she has that whole diva, I am Sauce for Fear. She's like all about, being a diva, being hardworking woman, you don't need a man. That's what I meant by that. She's been like that since Destiny's Child. Eric Thomas had mentioned that she worked so hard on her album one time, she didn't sleep or eat for 3 days. So it's not just me. Like, I'm not crazy. It's anyone who wants to be successful at anything will not sleep. I remember when I was 12 years old. This is like so, this might sound so pointless, but like this is serious. Like, I was 12 years old, I had an Xbox, and I'm a PlayStation fan all the way, but my uncle bought me an Xbox, and I just gotten rid of my PlayStation 2, or I don't know what happened to it, I kind of forgot, or maybe because of him I stopped using it. I think it was actually that, out of respect of him, and it's just something new for me, so I had an Xbox, just the Xbox that came out in the early 2000s, that Xbox. Not the Xbox 360 and not Xbox One, just Xbox, it's the only one I've ever owned, and I had a game called MVP Baseball 2005 with Manny Ramirez on the cover. I always get confused if it's 04 or 05, but I know it's 05 because the Red Sox won the World Series in 04, and Manny Ramirez is on the cover because they won in 04. And I had this game in 2008, so I was 14. I was 13, gonna be 14. 2008, 2007, it was really an old game. It was 4 years old. It's like someone right now playing MLB that shows 17 or 16. That's what it's like. So I was so dedicated on not starting a season, because I would play the season. Like, I wouldn't sim any game. I would play all the games in the season. I know that sounds ridiculous. All 162 games. And I would make sure all the teams, like, before I would just go to the rosters in general. Like, even if I played an exhibition game, I'd make sure all the rosters were up to date. I would trade the players. It was so hard. It was one of the hardest things I've ever done. Like, not hard, but it was very... Nothing in life is ever really hard. I'm saying it's hard because it was just so time consuming, and it was such a hassle to do that most people wouldn't have bothered with it. And I didn't mind it all. And now that I think about it, that's probably why I don't mind most things. I don't mind, like, things most people dread. I don't dread because of that. Like, there was guys in the minor leagues, AAA, AA, single A. There's 3 like minor league divisions in baseball, and it was single A, AA, AAA, and they were all on different teams, and I had to find those guys that were in the MLB. But when you trade one guy has to go under, because it's a 40-man roster, 25-man roster, but it's a 40-man roster. It's hard to explain, but it's 40-man roster. 25 can only make the team, so 40 are on the list, but 25 are active. So with that, you just have to do so many transactions with guys in the AA, AAA, single A. Trade this guy to that team, this guy to that team, and then create players, because there was rookies that didn't exist in 2004. And it would take me, I don't remember how long, but it would take me like 4 hours a day. It would take so long. Like, I know that for a fact. And I wouldn't eat all day because I was so focused on that. I wouldn't eat because I would do that for 4 hours and then I'd play. So, like, I was just so into it. So what I'm saying is, if you don't, whatever your passion is, whatever you think it is, if it's not like the best thing, if it doesn't make you that excited, you don't lose sleep over it. You don't think about it every single day. My uncle used to tell me when I was little, he's my youngest uncle, he's 11 years older than me, and he would always tell me, you like baseball, but you need to eat, sleep, shit baseball. Like, that's what he would tell me. He's like, and right now I don't see that from you, so I don't think you love it that much. He would tell me that. And I used to think, yes I did. I would tell him, yes I did. And he never played sports. I thought, you never played, what do you know? And that's what aboutism. It's like, what about you? You never even played. But that's irrelevant. He can still tell me that. He's still allowed to tell me you don't love it that much from what he sees. Because I didn't eat, sleep, and shit. Basically, he's right. I didn't. I really didn't. In my eyes, I did, but I was just disagreeing with him. I was a little kid. I was 13. Like, it's true. I didn't treat it the way Kobe treated basketball. In my opinion, he's the hardest working basketball player of all time. Or athlete in general. Like, just one of the hardest working athletes of all time. Hardest in basketball, and one of the hardest in all time. Because I don't know about Olympic athletes, like the ones in the Olympics, track and field. I don't know about those guys. Maybe some worked as hard, but I really don't think anyone did, honestly. Because basketball is something that you can do all day. You can't run all day. That's very hard to do without getting yourself tired. Basketball, you'll get tired, but it's a whole different story. It's just different. You don't have to run when you're by yourself practicing. I would say you're probably not running. You just shoot. I know he did more than that. I know. So what I'm saying is, if you don't lose sleep over it, if it doesn't bother you, like, if it doesn't, I'm not saying, the power lifters, like, they don't get a lift and they throw their ball and start cussing and screaming and they just mad at everyone. I'm not talking about that. You don't have to be that. If you're not that guy, that doesn't mean you don't love it. You could just take it serious. And if you don't get a lift, really analyze it and really lose sleep over it and really think about it and really ask people, that's enough. You don't have to get mad. I mean, not everyone has anger issues. Some guys get mad and they're like, if you don't... I don't know. I saw this guy in his guys that he did a deadlift that was way harder than it should have been. He did a double, and and he threw his belt at the camera, saying like, if this doesn't piss you off, then it's not for you. Like, if you have a bad day and it doesn't frustrate you, then it's not for you. But he's right. If it doesn't frustrate you, then he's right. You don't have to be like him. But if it doesn't bother you, frustrate you, and you don't lose sleep over it when you're doing bad, or even when you're just in general, like how I am right now, like, you should really rethink if you like doing what you're doing. Not just powerlifting, just anything. Music, art, whatever sport you're in, whatever, anything. Like, if you want to be an entrepreneur, business, open a business, you should just really think about it. If you're just not thinking about it all the time, you'd rather be with your family, you'd rather be with your girlfriend or your boyfriend, you'd rather just do something else, like, I'd rather be this, like those license plates say, then, like, you should just rethink it, and maybe it's not for you. Because if you're not eating, sleeping, and shitting it, and you're not just 24/7 about it, my uncle was right, you really don't love it that much. And people could disagree all they want, but it's just the truth. Kobe said when he was a rookie, he was surprised that he thought everyone was going to be all about basketball all day, every day. That's what he thought. And he said he was wrong. All everyone wanted to do was party. That's it. They just cared about partying. And that blew his mind, how most guys didn't work hard. So he thought all I had to do was work, train. I think he would practice like at least 5 hours a day by himself. I might be off. But let's just say it's 5 hours a day, every single day. And he said most guys just go to practice and that's it. And they work on their own like an hour, maybe. I don't know. So he said something about it in an interview, like he would be 5 years ahead of everyone if he just practiced that hard. And you could think he was not that great. You could think he was overrated. You could think he sucked. But no matter what, he was the third leading scorer of all time in basketball history at one time. LeBron has now passed him. But he was at one point, and he was so beat up and injured, and he was benched his first 3 years. So he still managed to get third all-time scoring list, even with all odds against him. Possibly could have been first, and probably Jordan too if he didn't take so much time off. But that's besides the point. That just shows there's no excuses, and if you really want it, you will get it and not make any excuses. Like, literally no excuses. Am I saying I'm the best powerlifter of all time because I take it so serious and I lose sleep over it? That's far from what I'm saying. But what I am saying is if you don't take it at least as serious as I do and lose sleep over it and analyze it all day and look at your videos and all that, at least like I do, maybe even more, then in my opinion you don't truly love it. Powerlifting or whatever your hobby is, your passion is. If it's not at least like me, or maybe even more, like 10 times more than me or more, then I could say you love whatever you love or you really like it. If not, then you're just doing it because your friends are doing it. You're just doing it to kind of challenge yourself, or you're just doing it just, I don't know why you're doing it. Maybe you shouldn't do it anymore, whatever it is you're doing. The way I am, I've never really had a workout partner, and I finally found out why, because I ended up having a workout partner for a long time, and I still do, but it's just, different schedules, time constraints. But before, I never really had a workout partner before 2019, consistently every single day, because I just felt like no one took it as serious as me, because the times I did work out with some people, it was always the same thing, like Kobe said. Like, I thought it was going to be all about weights, all about no phone. I just don't use my phone when I work out. If you do, whatever, I don't care. That doesn't mean I take it more seriously, but I do not use my phone because I'm just that focused on it. That's just how focused I am. In my opinion, if you use your phone during something, the majority of the time, you just don't take it that serious. That's just what it is. You could use your music, whatever. I don't need music. I prefer no music. But if you're on your phone, on Instagram, laughing, doing all that bullshit, you just don't take it that serious. Because if you were on a first date, would you really be on your phone that much and ignore the girl or guy? I'll just let you answer that. There's no right answer. If you were in a job interview, would you just be on your phone the entire interview? Maybe before, maybe after, but during the interview, if you wanted that job that bad, would you really be on your phone? Like, it's just a question. Like, is the phone that important? You have 24 hours to use that. You sleep 8, you have 16 hours left to use it. If you work 8, you have 8 hours to use your phone. So I know people use it more than that, because some people don't sleep 8 hours. So what I'm trying to say is, everyone laughing, everyone talking, everyone on their phone looking, look at this video, look at what my mom did, look what my brother did, look at this. Resting for 30 minutes just because they're talking, not because they're resting 30 minutes. Like, they're just talking, they're just doing some basic curls and they're resting 30 minutes because they're talking. You do not need 30 minutes to rest between curls. If you need 30 minutes for top singles, you're your own person. And I'm not disagreeing, like, that makes sense. A top single and it's heavy. But for bicep curls, lat pull down, seriously, you can rest a minute on those. Maybe I'm just an asshole. Maybe I'm a male version of a Karen. Call me whatever you want, but that's just what I think. And laughing, talking, giggling, being on your phone the whole time, that just shows you're not that into it. It's a fact. If you don't agree, that's fine. You can think whatever you want to think. Maybe I'm not that into it for not being on my phone and for losing sleep. Think what you want, but I just think whatever you're doing, really analyze it, really rethink what you're doing, and think about what you're really doing. You know, if you're trying to get better, or if you're not, only you know the answer. No one else. That's all I have to say. That was my rant. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and stay tuned.